Have you ever found yourself in one of those moments where you're sitting across from someone and everything just feels right? Not because of what's being said, but because of what isn't. The way they glance at you, the slight pause before they speak, or the way their smile lingers a little longer than it should. We don't always need words to know something's there. Sometimes it's in the silence. And when two people feel it at the same time, that's where the magic begins. Today, we're going deep into something most of us experience but don't always understand. Those moments when you're not just crushing on someone. You're both quietly falling for each other. You might not say it out loud. Heck, you might not even fully realize it. But love, or something close to it, is already growing between you. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's explore the secret language that two hearts speak when they're sinking. For the very first time. You know, one of the most fascinating things about human connection is how subtle it can be. Two people might sit across from each other and talk about completely ordinary things. Work, traffic, what they had for lunch. But underneath that, there's this whole unspoken dialogue happening. Every glance, every touch, every moment of shared silence is part of it. And sometimes the signs are so clear that the only thing keeping you apart is your own hesitation, like when you're talking and their attention is just different. Not distracted, not polite. It's focused. They're listening in a way that feels rare, like they actually want to understand you, not just your words, but what you mean. There's something powerful about that. That kind of attention is a form of affection. It's presence, and it's rare. Have you ever walked next to someone and found your pace matching theirs without even thinking? That's one of those things that seems small, but says a lot. The body naturally mirrors someone when it feels comfortable, when it wants to connect. You might notice it when you both reach for something at the same time and laugh awkwardly, or when your hands brush accidentally. But neither of you moves away. There's this shared gravity between you, like your bodies already know what your minds haven't fully accepted. You'll also start seeing them in everything. A song reminds you of them. A random comment makes you want to text them. It's not obsession. It's the way the brain starts tying someone into your sense of joy and meaning. And guess what? When they do the same, you're already halfway into each other's hearts. In psychology, we talk a lot about emotional attunement. That's when you begin to feel things in sync with someone else. You laugh at the same moments. You notice their mood changes without a word. You start predicting what they'll say, not because you're psychic, but because you're connected. And that's not just poetic language. It's real. It's your mirror neurons firing. It's your subconscious picking up on their rhythms. This is the part where conversations go deeper. When they ask you questions that most people don't. When they remember little details you didn't think mattered. And here's the kicker. When you do the same. Because when two people start caring about the small things in each other's lives, that's when affection becomes something deeper. Let's talk about time for a second. When you both like each other, time just slips. Hours feel like minutes. You glance at the clock and think, how is it midnight already? But it's not just about how time flies. It's how neither of you wants the moment to end. You stretch the goodbye. You linger at the door. Maybe they walk you to your car. Maybe you find a reason to stay another minute, because both of you feel it. This isn't ordinary. Even the silence is comfortable. That's a big one. You don't feel pressure to fill every gap. You can just sit in silence and it doesn't feel awkward. It feels full. Somewhere in all this, there's a shift. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's barely noticeable. But suddenly, you're aware of each other in a different way. Maybe it's the way they casually touch your arm when they laugh, or how they lean in just a bit more than they used to. Maybe it's in the texts that come a little more often. The way they say, "Let me know you got home safe," and actually mean it. Maybe it's how they start looking for your reactions when they tell a joke, like your opinion matters more than anyone else's. That's when the line between I like them and we like each other gets blurry in the best possible way. Here's the beautiful and sometimes frustrating truth. When two people like each other, it's not always loud. It's not always grand gestures or dramatic confessions. Often it's quiet, gentle, growing like vines under the surface, wrapping around you both before you even notice. It's the way you feel seen, the way they make you feel safe just by being there, the way their presence calms you even when the world feels chaotic. And when it's mutual, you'll start building a shared emotional language. Inside jokes, favorite songs, the way you look at each other when something weird happens in public. These things become yours. A secret little universe you're both living in. Now, here's the question that so many people get stuck on. Should I say something? Maybe. Maybe not. But if you're both picking up the same signals, the universe might already be nudging you both forward. And while we all fear rejection, sometimes staying silent means missing something real. When you're with someone who really sees you and who you really see back, that's rare, and it's worth protecting, nurturing, exploring. Love doesn't always show up with fireworks. Sometimes it enters quietly, through shared smiles, late-night texts, soft laughter, and unspoken feelings. But when it does show up, and when it shows up on both sides, you'll feel it. Not because someone told you, but because deep down, you already know. If you're watching this thinking of someone right now, maybe that's your answer. Thanks for spending this time with me. And wherever your story goes next, I hope it's real. I hope it's mutual. And I hope it makes you feel seen. Until next time, take care of your heart. It knows more than you think.